My channel was taken over by scammers. They changed my channel name and icon, privated all of my videos, and put up a fake live stream with Elon Musk's face on it to try and make people fall for their crypto grift. In this video, I'll go over how all of that happened, I'll explain how I got my channel back, and I'll go into the damage that this has done. On that last point, real quick, I estimate I lost around 1,500 subscribers, so it would really help me if just this once you'd hit like, subscribe, and left a comment to help me gain some traction in the algorithm. Not only would this undo some of the harm that they did to me, but I think this video also has some information that could help out others who got hit by the same scam. With that out of the way, let's get into the chain of events. It's Tuesday, March 28th. At around 10 AM, I opened this email I got overnight. It says there's new activity in document copyrightwarning.pdf. If you can't read it, that's because it's written in swamp German, but I've included a translation of my own. If you have a YouTube channel, you probably know that this is not how you usually get notifications about copyright infringements. They usually look more like this, also in swamp German. I did notice that, but my first reaction was, well, that's weird, and then I clicked it anyway. Now, copyright warning was not an attached PDF, it's actually a link to a Google Doc, but when I opened it, I saw that it was an executable file disguised as a PDF. I believe it was called .pdf.exe, and that was when all alarm bells started ringing, and not just my own, but also my anti-malware softwares. Malwarebytes caught it immediately and quarantined the file, so I thought it was fine. Fast forward to 2 PM, I went AFK to do some chores, and suddenly I get several Google notifications. Stuff like, your password has been changed, and your security questions have been updated, things like that. This is when I knew things were not good. I went back to my PC to check on things, but it was too late. I was signed out of YouTube, Thunderbird could no longer access my email, my phone said I had to enter my Gmail password again, and so on. There was no denying it. I was locked out. Even though I had the anti-malware software, two-step verification using my phone, a strong password stored within a password manager, and probably some other security steps that I'm forgetting about, they still managed to take over my account. Slowly, my YouTube channel started to change. Whoever took over my channel changed the channel icon, the channel name, and my videos started disappearing. Fortunately, it appeared they were set to private instead of being deleted. They also launched an upcoming stream with some clickbaity phrases like Elon Musk leaving Twitter, impact on Bitcoin, obviously hoping to scam people into clicking their links. Their apparent goal was to try and get this scam to as many people as possible, using my subscriber count and power within the algorithm to get into people's recommended feed and front page. Somehow, I didn't panic, probably because I saw this happen to another channel and they did eventually get theirs restored. I just accepted that for the moment, things were bad, but there were still things I could control. I could mitigate the damage the scammers could do by warning my community and by getting my channel back as soon as possible. Now, without my channel, I cannot reach all of my around 70k subscribers, but I could reach the most dedicated ones at least through Discord and Twitter. So I sent announcements there and then concentrated on contacting YouTube. Now, Google and YouTube have support avenues, but pretty much all of them rely on you being logged in. If you're locked out, as far as I know, the only thing you can do is contact the Twitter account Team YouTube and hope for the best. While waiting for them to get back to me, I also did the only other thing I could think of doing, which was DMing the one person I knew had this happen to them. Big shoutouts to Glitch City for very elaborately responding to a DM from somebody they've never talked to. There wasn't much in a response that I didn't already know, but I really appreciate it nonetheless. Now, Team YouTube actually got back to me quicker than I expected, and they referred me to a form, which would then get forwarded to a specialist team. That sounds disappointing and bureaucratic, but I get it. Team YouTube is probably just a bunch of people with access to their Twitter accounts and not a whole lot else. The specialist team would get back to me within one business day. Of course, that is more than enough time for these scammers to do literally anything they want to my channel, and I had given up hope of getting it back before they could do much damage. By now, all of my videos had disappeared. Well, except for one. For some reason, the scammer had neglected to take down my upcoming live stream for the next day, which could still be used by my subscribers to talk to each other, and I could also use the chat to talk to people using an alternate YouTube account. Oh, and I shouldn't forget Reddit either. One of my subscribers posted a PSA to the Fire Emblem subreddit that got upvoted pretty massively, and I used that thread to post long updates that I could not fit on Twitter. A little past 6 PM, I got a couple of new email notifications on my Microsoft email. One of them said, "Action required. Your Google account is temporarily disabled due to unusual activity." And then soon after that, I got a couple of Google verification codes. From what I can tell, I think Google acted on my reports and locked my Google account, and then the scammer tried to get back in by asking for verification codes. Except those were sent to the Microsoft email address that was somehow still linked to my Gmail account. I don't know if the scammers couldn't or just didn't remember to take it out, but I knew that if they could ask for a verification code, so could I. So I requested one myself, and I managed to log back in, thank fucking God. Like I suspected, my videos were all safe, just put on private. I did this login from a different computer just to be safe, and the moment I got in, it was time to try and undo all the damage that these scammers had done. I changed the passwords to all of my email, banking, everything I could think of. I took a whole day to run various security scans on my regular PC to make sure the malware was no longer there, as well as checking anything I could for suspicious activity. I was fairly sure that this was only about using my YouTube account to promote the crypto scam, but when it comes to these things, better safe than sorry. The biggest problem was all these videos that they put on private. There was no simple way to undo it. I had some hope that the specialist team would have a way to deal with this, like some kind of rollback feature that would bring my channel back to the state it was in before the takeover. But they said in an email that they were not able to alter my channel in any way, which meant I had to find a way to unprivate everything myself. This is harder than it sounds because the YouTube Studio UI is absolutely atrocious. First of all, it's just slow and unresponsive, and second, even the features that you would think are meant to help with this are horribly ineffective. If I use this checkbox feature to publish 50 videos, chances are it won't work on like 3 of them. So I still have to go through them manually. I also accidentally found a button to publish all of my videos at once, but that would include vids that I already had on private or unlisted and did not want to publish. And of course, it still doesn't work on all the vids it should work on. It's a headache. Thankfully, I had a huge amount of help from Keb, who you might know as the creator of TriangleAttack.com, a Fire Emblem resource website. They wrote several scripts that helped me speed up the process. I won't go through our entire troubleshooting process here, but the TLDR is that automating or semi-automating it didn't really work as planned because the YouTube API is also barely functional. And the fact that Kep is able to write these scripts to a semi-functional state with his limited knowledge and without access to the YouTube backend, it does show something. It shows that the people behind YouTube do have the technical ability to assist with this, but for whatever reason, they don't, which sucks. That said, Kep's scripts still came in handy to speed up the process of republishing the vids, and I'm super grateful for all his help. Now, before I get to the final part, a bit of an aside. One of the things that surprised me the most when I was telling everyone my account has been compromised was how supportive and positive the response was. Literally no one was shaming me for falling for a quote-unquote obvious phishing scam in an email. I was expecting at least a few peanut gallery comments like, "Why would you click that? That's so clearly a scam." And that was really nice. It helped me realize that losing my channel was not my fault, but the fault of the scammer. And sure, I could have prevented it if I just didn't click that link. But keep in mind, I've dodged tens of these in the past, maybe 100 at this point. It only takes one screw up for this to happen in one vulnerable moment. It's easy to avoid 1 or 10, but dodging them all is something else. In fact, there was this one other scam email I got way before that I had some fun with. I got this suspicious sponsorship offer, and I actually got my dad to dedicate a decoy computer to bait the scammer and see what would happen. I had vague plans for making a fun vid out of it, but it ended up drowning in all my other projects. All this is a good reminder that these scams can happen to anyone, and the best way to combat it is to spread awareness and to help those who fall victim. Throughout this whole ordeal, I've had so many people help me in every way they could, and it put a really wholesome touch on something that's supposed to be just brutal and stressful. So in the end, how much did this hurt my channel? And there's no way to gauge exactly, but here's a couple of ways to put it in perspective. I gained around 1,000 subscribers in January. Normally January is a slow month for YouTube, but thanks to the release of Engage, I got a nice amount. On the day my channel got hijacked, I lost 1,420 subscribers. I lost more in one day than I gained in one of the better months. And what's more, these are 1,420 people that actively look at their subscription feed, saw Elon Musk's face on there, and decided to unsubscribe. I have over 70k subscribers, but a lot of them are quote-unquote dead, or in other words, they don't really check their feeds for videos of me. Depending on what I upload, I usually have somewhere between 1 and 5,000 regular viewers, more if I upload a video with more mass appeal. And now 1,500 of those unsubscribed because of this. So if you look at it that way, that's a lot of damage. The good news is that my most loyal followers knew about the hack, thanks to me being able to get the word out so quickly through my stream, Discord, Twitter, Reddit, etc. Most of my income is through Patreon and donations, so in terms of money, the hit isn't that big. I also think that the people most likely to watch me regularly are going to have the easiest time rediscovering me, since they will miss my videos when they cannot find me. But in terms of reaching a new audience and new patrons, there's no telling how big of a blow this is going to be. With all my videos on private, that is a lot fewer videos out there to get recommended to people for quite a while. Maybe the algorithm will think my channel is or was dead and is not worth recommending, and it will hurt my newer videos. And there will be a percentage of my regular viewers who will just not return simply because they are not going to see this video. I am hoping to keep that number as small as possible, but even one is one too many. Fortunately, by watching all the way up to this point, you've already given me some watch time to make up for all this. So thank you so much. I hate to say this again, but if you haven't already, please, unironically, like, comment, and subscribe.